Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Netflix has faced criticism from a royal commentator for its movie about Prince Andrew's infamous BBC Newsnight interview in 2019, where he discussed his ties to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The interview was a PR disaster for the prince and led to his removal as a working member of the royal family. The streaming service's new film, Scoop, recounts the story of the women who worked to make the bombshell interview happen. Speaking to GBN America, royal biographer Angela Levin expressed her dissatisfaction with the film, saying, "I watched the interview, I'm bored with it. I know the person who set it up. I met her a week afterwards and she was telling me that it was amazing." He was telling her it was a wonderful interview in which she'd like to be taken around the palace. He told his mother, too, that it had gone very well. He hasn't got the idea that he is wrong, and this will be unpleasant and a way of knocking the royal family. I think this is for non-monarchists who actually would like to kill off the royal family. We've had enough of it. Actor Rufus Sewell portrays Andrew, while Gillian Anderson plays interviewer Emily Maitlis. The drama also depicts Andrew's home life at Royal Lodge in Windsor, which he shares with ex-wife Sarah Ferguson. Several former palace workers have shared intriguing details about Prince Andrew's bedroom at Buckingham Palace, where he previously resided. Charlotte Briggs, a former maid who worked at the palace in the mid-90s, claimed the prince had 72 cuddly toys on his bed that had to be arranged in size order. She said, "As soon as I got the job, I was told about the teddies, and it was drilled into me how he wanted them. I even had a day's training. Everything had to be just right. It was so peculiar. But he absolutely loved the teddies, and it was very clear how he wanted them arranged." According to Briggs, the biggest teddies were placed at the back with the rest in descending order of size, and the prince's two favorite teddies sat on mahogany thrones at his bedside. Royal author Ingrid Seward claimed that during their marriage, Sarah Ferguson slept among around a dozen teddy bears on Andrew's bed. In a separate ITV documentary, former Royal Protection Officer Paul Page mentioned a handwritten guide for arranging the toys and other items in the room. The laminated instructions, titled DOY Bed, Points for Turn Down and Making the Bed, included 2 toy hippos, a black panther, bears, 3 cushions called Daddy, Ducks and Prince, as well as specific instructions for placing blankets, toys and a fur with ribbons hanging off the side of the bed. The Mirror's Russell Myers said there is arguably no good time for the royal family to be confronted once again with this catastrophic decision by Prince Andrew to take part in his disastrous Newsnight interview, let alone a new drama which will be watched by millions around the world and reignite the scandal. But the Netflix show Scoop couldn't be more ill-timed for the royals. Recent months have seen an absolutely unprecedented time for the monarchy, with the King and Princess of Wales having been forced to take a leave of absence away from royal duties due to their various health conditions. Losing 2 of the firm's main figures has left the slimmed-down monarchy looking rather threadbare. So much so that the Queen, at the age of 76, has become the main focal point for the royal family's public duties at an age where most people are enjoying the fruits of their retirement. One thing is for certain, the palace will say that none of the royal family will be tuning in. They lived through the real thing after all. But the public's fascination remains with how the Duke of York and those around him thought that it would be a good idea to take part in the interview that exposed him to widespread condemnation and ridicule, leading to his banishment from royal life. Prince Andrew has been taking more public appearances alongside the royal family in recent months, leading some to speculate that he may be attempting to stage a comeback. Kristen Meinzer, a royal commentator who spoke to Business Insider, believes these appearances could be part of a comeback plan. She noted that Andrew's presence at King Constantine's memorial service, where he was seen happily leading the family charge, gave the impression that he is trying to orchestrate a revival back into public life. Meinzer found this disheartening, especially given the absence of senior royals like Charles, Kate, and William at the event. Evan Neerman, a PR expert and author, told Business Insider that the palace's press office is unlikely to be involved in any comeback plan, as it does not serve the royals' interests. He suggested that if such a plan exists, Andrew is likely acting on his own. The family has much more to lose than gain by continuing to appear with Andrew, so there is certainly a case to be made for keeping their distance. This sentiment is echoed by royal expert Marlene Koenig, who said he is not going to have public duties, engagements, or any official role within the royal family. That's not going to happen. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Elizabeth Hurley did not take Harry's virginity. TV host Andy Cohen asked Hurley if she was the horse-loving English woman Harry wrote about in Spare. Hurley said, "That was ludicrous." He said, "She was English and she was older than me. It was in Gloucester. They were like, oh, it's Elizabeth. It was absurd. It was ridiculous. It's like saying he's great looking, he's American, and they say, oh, it's Andy Cohen. It was absurd." Cohen was unfazed, asking, "But was Harry a good lover and were you gentle with him?" Hurley clarified, she has never met Harry. The royal family is not concerned about the financial collapse of the Middletons' party planning company, Party Pieces, according to royal author Christopher Anderson, who told Us Weekly, "No one in the royal family is embarrassed by the failure of Party Pieces. People shouldn't make the mistake that the Middletons are broke, because they decidedly are not. Their business went belly up because of things entirely out of their control, but that doesn't mean they haven't got substantial personal assets." In Carol's case, the party supply business she founded flourished for years until, like so many other businesses, it was undone by COVID. For nearly 2 years, nobody was giving children's parties, and the lingering effects have been devastating. The entire market for what Party Pieces was selling went straight off the end of a cliff. Anderson also emphasized the importance of Carol Middleton's role in supporting her daughter during this official time, stating, "We have to keep in mind that Carol Middleton is focusing on helping her daughter cope with what is a devastating diagnosis. The future queen has always leaned very heavily on her mother for emotional support and encouragement, and never more so than now. I think the king in particular appreciates how important a role Carol plays in keeping her daughter's spirits up at this crucial time. Carol is desperately trying to keep Catherine fully focused on her recovery. It is a very worrying time for the family, but they are not looking for any assistance from their children and don't want them to worry." And there you have it. If you'd like to email us, our address is thepalaceintrigue@gmail.com. Please follow us on Spotify, Apple, or your app of choice. Hey, write us a review. Hit those 5 stars on Apple if you like the show. It really helps us out. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue. Good times.